This is how the pro players actually handle dive. Stick around to the end so you can know how to actually counter a dive so you can have easier calm games right now. On the XOXO team is a Venom and a Captain America. The Venom and a Captain America have a coordinated dive, but the reject Angela pushes the Captain America away and literally the whole team focuses the dead Captain America. I'll get into the specifics on the kill order for dive because you do not need to kill the healers first like you may think. But we gotta talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, there is a tank Deadpool. He's not the best for countering dive. Hell, he's not even an anti-dive tank. Probably the worst tank you could ever think of to actually handle dive. But I made a video on how he actually made this tank Deadpool work. But let's check out this dive by the enemy Venom. So the Venom is on the freaking Gambit, but this Angel is doing such a good job of CCing the Venom. Yes, the Venom does get a pick on the Phoenix, but as long as it's not a healer, I mean, the Venom just traded his life for no reason. And this team can just keep playing. And it turns out that the blue team, the XOXO team, is down a man. They're literally down a tank. And if you have a dive tank, you basically have no front line. Now we're gonna follow Piggy, this Angela player who's doing such a great job at countering dive. Even though Angela is a dive player herself, you'll know how this Angela is actually a win condition towards the end of this video. I know with dive slot being so rampant inside of this season on top of poke slot, I figured this video would help you. If there's anything obvious, leave a comment right now. So the Venom is engaging onto the reject team. But look at how coordinated the dive is. They didn't even need the Angela here. If you know the enemy team has dive slop and you're playing a support, White Fox is pretty good for actually playing against dive. Her melee is gonna make you unkillable. On top of letting Gambit through, if he does get through, you're fine. But if you haven't already, pick up White Fox for your strategist. I actually gotta start learning her in quick play. Have you noticed how Reject has not died once? There's literally the only pick that died was literally Phoenix. Phoenix is the only hero that died so far. I'll break it down in the next round. Stick around for this because Zeta the Venom has his ultimate. If you ever played against a Venom with his ultimate, you already know about the one-shot combo with his tentacles and his ultimate. So he goes for a dive, he targets the enemy White Fox and then instantly pops his little ultimate. But he gets no sort of value because the White Fox teleported away. He's not on the freaking he's not on the point. The biggest mistake with you dive players, never ever forget about playing the objective. Yes, you want to do your very best to kill the enemy healers, and if overtime isn't triggered because you're not the one on point, best believe you're gonna be at fault for not touching that point. Here we got both of the dive tanks going for somebody. They're spread out because if this Captain America, XOXO made a mistake before this round ended. If this Captain America would have hopped off point for just a minute and helped the Venom bait out the enemy White Fox ultimate, then this would have been entirely different and the XOXO team would have actually gotten a kill. I will reveal the secret sauce behind Reject, the red team's counter, and how they're actually playing really well against dive, even when it seems like they have a tank pool who seems really bad at dive. Now on to the second point. Starting fresh, the Venom is looking for a dive and the Angela just shuts him down. But that's not the whole part and why their dive is being shut down. In case you haven't caught why the red team Reject has been winning so much, is because this Angela player is doing a really good job of peeling against the enemy Venom and the enemy Captain America. This is how the dive has been shut down for the entirety of the first round and the entirety of this second round going in. Next, I'll reveal the kill order for how to actually counter dive, but before we do that, we gotta talk about switching. If it has been 7 team fights and you're still playing Venom with no kills, that's a perfect time for you to switch. This Venom has went 1 and 2, and if you can't think of any heroes to play besides Venom when you know he's not working, think about what heroes wouldn't work. Obviously, Venom isn't working anymore. Would a Hulk work here? No? Okay, I'm moving on. Would a tank pool work? Do I even need to play tank? Would a Blade work? Would a Thor work? Go down the process of elimination, because if you see a hero clearly isn't working, please get the Heliante off of that hero and switch to a more effective hero. It's not hard. The only thing you're losing is your ego. And it turns out the Venom actually did swap off a Venom. he went Captain America. Now let's see how this plays out. Piggy said, just because you went a different dive character doesn't mean I'm not peeling. Piggy charges in to get a charge, actually lands it, and gets the Captain America away. It then does her very best to peel against the enemy Star-Lord Ultimate. Just because the enemy switches to another dive hero does not mean the same strategy of just because the enemy switches to another dive hero doesn't mean your strategy of peeling against that dive is not gonna change up. If anything, it's gonna be in favor of you because you have the same strategy. It's just gonna work on a different hero. Instead, what this Captain America needed to do, Zeta needed to pick another tank like Strange, a broad tank. No, Thor would have worked here, especially against the Angela, and that would have shut down their peel. Now we gotta talk about the kill order. So you can use the kill order when you're going up against dive. In case you haven't noticed, Piggy almost always does not prioritize killing the enemy supports. As soon as Piggy has the point when that thing turns red, now they're on the defensive. Their only job is to not kill the supports. It's to make sure the enemy dive is off of their supports. So their supports, the red team's White Fox and the Gambit can live longer to sustain their team so they can actually be set up to kill the enemy healers. And it sounds so backwards because think about it. The blue team doesn't have any frontline tanks. The blue XOXO team, they're gonna be free because they don't have anything. Literally right here, these two are so diveable for Reject, the red team's Daredevil, if he wasn't blind. Your kill order should be to always take care of dive. Even if they're not dead, make sure they're out of the playing field. Even if you can kill one dive player, that's enough for you to move on from the dive and to prioritize the enemy healers. Subscribe for more and let me know the most obvious parts inside this video down below in the comments. Subscribe. 3, 2, 1.